Billy is a, I guess, InsurTech firm. A lot of the founders, and I know a lot of founders that I speak to, they're usually, going with whatever the current trend is. I guess like last 2 years, Web3 crypto was big. Prior to that, that AI was a big trend theme that a lot of founders were chasing. You're a relatively young guy. We don't see a lot of young people in InsurTech. A lot of the time it's like experienced executive, they're trying to do something different. It does happen, but not as common. I guess what made you pursue InsurTech as a vertical? Was that based on your experience, or you saw an opportunity and need? Like, what made you decide to go into InsurTech?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I was actually trying to build a payments company, hence the name Billy. The original name was Billy Pay. And what my partner and myself set out to do was based on our experience at Procore. So we'd seen that construction companies still pay each other with a check. And we just wanted to make it a lot simpler and charge a fee for it. But what we ended up realizing was if you use a payment facilitator like Stripe or Adyen, it's actually a lot slower to move large amounts of money through those payment facilitators. And the best way to do it would be something known as direct transmission, where essentially you're acting as the bank from your own bank account. And you can rent that facility from your own bank, but they'll limit the amount of money that you can move because, for example, if somebody, like a cyber attacker gets in the middle and, changes the bank account and you move 400,000 because you did direct transmission, that money is gone. You can't just like pull it back. And so that was the death of the first idea of building a payment business. But what we kept hearing was, well, anytime you try to pay somebody in construction, we have to check for compliance. And we check for two things. Do they have a lien waiver? And do they also have insurance? So the lien waiver side, we already knew that there were great companies that were solving for that. But on the insurance side, we decided to jump a bit deeper into it. Part of it was just my product management experience of just asking the 5 whys. And one of the things I realized is, there's a lot of friction in trying to figure out who has insurance, but there's an even bigger problem in buying insurance, right? So when people hear the word insurance, some people think that businesses just have to buy one insurance policy, but they actually have to buy a suite of policies. So even if you're a startup in software, you have to buy general liability, workers' comp for your workers, cyber insurance. If you took a VC money, you need directors and officers insurance. So to get educated on those types of products, you need a broker. It's not something that you can just digitize. And I think maybe that's something that I also learned as a product manager, which is not everything needs to be completely digitized. And insurance is just one of those things, like where brokerages, for example, you don't need to build a whole new app, but you could power that service with software and become much, much more efficient. So hence why we decided to form the brokerage on top of the workflow tool that we have, because it's an already proven business and we can add a lot more value with just a little bit of technology.
That's great. Thanks for that background. Super helpful. So now that you've been in the InsurTech space for some time, like what's your view on it, right? Like I look at InsurTech. I think compared to fintech, we're still kind of InsurTech 1.0. Sure, there's been some early successes and whatnot. What's your overall view on InsurTech as a sector? I mean, it's a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. A lot of big market, right? Different segments within a big market. Like, what's your overall view on InsurTech as a sector?
Yeah, I think it's one of the most attractive sectors to enter in if you want to, start a technology company. The reason why I say this is everybody needs insurance, but the way in which you purchase or manage insurance is still horse and buggy. Horse and buggy meaning you are still relying from a Jake from State Farm, you're still storing your insurance documents in Gmail, or like my parents, it's under my mom's dresser, right? So many opportunities to disrupt, purchasing and managing. Then there's even, well, when you need to use insurance for claims, right? So I own a home, and once a year, there's always some kind of weather-related event that damages property or damages the house itself. But every time I go through a claim, I get a physical check in the mail. I still have to fill out physical pieces of paper just to get the claim in, so there you go. That's another, idea of things that people can do to, streamline insurance. And then there's the insurance products themselves. You're starting to see many flavors of, what we call MGAs or MGUs. So companies like Lemonade, the Metro Miles, Hippo Insurance, those are MGAs and MGUs. So the ability to, have certain products that are meant for certain people, I think is also like another great opportunity that's out there. And I think that their insurance industry in terms of technology is still first innings, right? So think of this as if you're in 2002 of fintech, where the big players are still, starting. And there's still so much more room to grow within the US and even globally as well.
Yeah, that's great insight. It just boggles my mind, like how much paperwork is involved in insurance still, right? Like here we are, 2022. A lot of our expectations have changed with like buying things with one click through Amazon and things like that. Yet, like you said, like claim, even actually getting insurance, it's like, Tom from, State Farm or whatever, coming in, filling a form a lot of the time. And same thing with the claims. It's very paper-based, very manual. You don't know where along the process, like, your claim is, gets into, I guess, that dark hole, and you kind of wait for it to kind of come back to you. So yeah, great point. And I'm still surprised that some of the largest players have not caught up to the consumer expectation.
Yeah, and just to plug onto that, I think maybe something the audience can relate to is if you've ever traveled and you have one of those credit cards like Sapphire or American Express, and something happens, your luggage gets lost, or you just want to file a claim against that. I bet you members of the audience who've done this can understand just how painful the claim process is. Not as simple as just clicking a button. Your credit card company will send you actual PDF forms that they want you to fill out. And those PDF forms are not even fillable on your computer. So now you have to go find a printer. And if you're a millennial like me, I don't have a printer. And even the WeWork I'm in, got rid of printers. So now it's like, I got to go to Kinko's and pay $2 a page to just print out like forms and then put them in the mail and mail them to, whichever carrier is trying to process things for you.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if they do that intentionally. So like you don't actually file the claim, right? You just give up, like say, you know what, this is.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is like you think about, you know what, maybe I'm not gonna like buy this insurance next time, right? Because they're making it so difficult. Maybe they don't understand that part of it.